I was going to sit on this idea a little bit longer. I was going to push it further into the series because I thought it would be something we could do over the course of a couple of episodes, and it might still be something that takes this episode, the next one, and the next one. I don't really know how long this little project is going to take, but I've decided that today's the day that I'm going to sit down and start to rebuild all of the transport connections into and out of Salem, and then eventually we're probably going to do the same to High Point and to San Francisco. And you might notice there's a lot of trouble. There's a lot of trouble in here. There's a whole lot of trucks that are stuck in traffic, and it's not good. Now, there is some good news, and that good news is that we have some new trucks. We have these guys right here. They can carry up to 25 of absolutely anything, and there's a few places around the map that I've already upgraded to these trucks, and this is one place where we have our bricks production for Salem, and as a result we're seeing some bricks come in here kind of nicely. That's not the only place that I've upgraded. I decided to come over here and do the same thing with the tools production, since this factory is providing tools to High Point, Oklahoma, and Salem as well. And then as a knock-on from that, I decided it would be an idea to come down here and rebuild this entire thing. Now, this monstrosity of a truck depot exists largely because when I first swapped out these trucks, we still had like 35 of them, and they were just backing up like crazy. So what I decided to do was come in here and basically say, okay, the Oklahoma Steel Tools line can use all of these platforms. It can loop around like this. I also did some new country roads as well, so that we have all these different connections. We have roundabouts. I just got a little bit, I don't know, I got a little bit carried away between episodes. I don't know what to tell you, but this is probably going to be temporary. Let's be completely honest. It's not exactly necessary, but I figured it would also be a good idea if we're doing this kind of upgrade to figure out something with the Oklahoma City Steel Mill. And so the Oklahoma Steel line got a really nice upgrade as well. It now has 4 locomotives. They're all electric powered. It has 67 wagons. You can see where the words got combined there. And as a result, it can get up to 75 miles per hour. And it gets there pretty regularly. Now, the numbers are a little bit off at the moment because it's not, I don't know what way I've got this set up, but I think we need like one more wagon on here for it to be sort of set up the way I'd want it to be. But the good news is, like I said, this thing is a little bit faster, and as a result of carrying a little bit more, a little bit faster, it now does 57.6 million per run, which is great. Now, keep in mind, this thing is traveling a pretty long distance. It is a huge train as well, but like I said, there's 4 locomotives, so what we have are 2 here, and then there are 2 at the other end of the train as well. Should be able to see them right about there, which is great. So, like I said, it gets up to 75 miles per hour. It does that relatively easily. Although I think this might be something I want to start looking into, is just upgrading this bit, because this hill seems like it's a bit of a struggle to get over. And I'm wondering if we maybe want to flatten the terrain a little bit, do some sort of little valley in here between these 2 points. Realistically, we probably wouldn't go through this cliff either, but I thought that looked cool, so that might be something I want to get started with today before we dive into the whole Salem project, is just speeding this thing up a little bit more. And I really would like to get this factory to upgrade as well. The shipment here is, well, it's not very good. It's it's not great. I'd like that to be better for sure. This thing in general just isn't producing as much as I'd like. But then again, the tools production, I don't know. There's a lot of things we could do to improve it. This was mostly something I did very early on as a, I don't want to say it was a joke. I think this was a good project. I think this was definitely worthwhile, but I also happen to think that, I don't know, maybe it wasn't my best idea. So yeah, we have like 186 right here, but it is going up and down. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this right out here. And we're going to try and keep this as level as we can. It's going to raise up a little bit, but that's okay. So it's actually pretty flat, which is great. We'll just go and get ourselves the flatten tool. We'll get a nice, decently square brush, a good amount of strength. And I don't remember where it needs to go to. It needs to go to right about there. So what we'll do is just get a bigger brush and be a little bit smaller because I don't want to flatten this cliff, but just a decently sized brush like this, and we're just going to flatten this whole thing. Now, in doing this, something I've realized that is a part of the problem is that there is actually a bit of an incline in this tunnel. So that's also what's causing the trains to go a little bit slower, but hopefully this just gives us a little bit of a speed boost on this line before it hits the absolutely enormous incline that it has to go up here, which is definitely going to keep it a little bit slower. But that's just a little something I wanted to do to hopefully improve that line. What I might also do is get rid of the mega train and just put in a couple of normal trains. I think a bit more of a regular delivery to this place might help us out, but we're going to come back to that because for now, well, I was going to say we're probably not going to pause the game a lot today, but it's probably going to be kind of the opposite. We're going to be doing a lot of pausing because I want to rebuild everything. I want to redo all of the lines coming in here. I want to figure out the bricks, and that's kind of where we're going to get started. Now, in saying that, this factory is, we're still going to use this. It's still a very good factory. It can still be upgraded, but I think there's a lot we can do to it to just make it a little bit better, a little bit more efficient, and that's kind of where I want to get started. So we have this road right here. It has a whole lot of trucks on it, and it is used by all of these trucks to get up to the factory, which is great. I think what I'm going to do is take out some roads, which is completely fine. We can keep the game on pause while we do this. I think we'll take out this road as well. We can probably, honestly, we can probably take out a lot of these. I think I am just going to sort of rebuild a lot of this space, and I think I'm kind of okay with doing that. So let's maybe take out you and you, and we'll keep this one. Honestly can go as well. Actually, I think that's probably a good idea. We'll take you out as well, and we'll just try and clear out as much of this as we can. I think this one can go. I think maybe we put one of those back in right about here, so just going straight across there is probably a little bit better than what we had before. And then my thinking would be take out this road, take out all of these, honestly, and we're just going to run a road straight down through the middle of this entire space. So from here down to, I want to say about there, and I was going to connect it down to this guy, but this road's so close to that intersection, I want to get rid of you as well. And then we'll just try to bring something kind of down like this. I'm not really too concerned with following sort of the curves of everything. I think this is okay. And then this can just link straight down to there. So that gives us that straight run down here. And it also gives me room to potentially upgrade this road, which I think is what I'm going to do if it's going to let me, which it looks like it will, which is great. I don't love this little bump though. I really don't love that. And I'm also thinking it might not be a bad idea. Keep the game running while I do this. It might not be a bad idea to maybe try and run these trucks up and over the train tracks, although the tracks aren't crazy busy at the moment, so we might be okay with it. I think for the time being, we'll just upgrade this road into a 4-lane road, since I don't know that we're going to have more trucks going on it necessarily, but we're going to upgrade it regardless. Is it obvious I'm recording this at 6 a.m.? It should be. We're going to upgrade this regardless. This section of road, I would like to do something with it. I'd like to take this all out of here, and I want to see if I can just make this look a little bit better. Just something like that, I think, is such an improvement over the weird thing that we had going on before. And this as well, honestly, I think I'm just going to take out this entire stretch of road. I'm maybe getting a little bit too comfortable with demolishing entire chunks of the city, but I don't know that I have much of a choice. What I would like to do at the very least is bring this down so it's nice, and it's got a nice angle with the rest of the intersection. I'd like to bring this out so it's kind of nicely perpendicular to the rest of the intersection. And then if I use the curve tool, can I get something like, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Something that just, just swoosh, just goes swoosh across from right to left there. That's what we're looking for. And then for the rest of this, we're going to go up to about here. That's as far as we can go with that. We can't upgrade this guy, which is completely fine. And the reason I want to do that's plain and simple. We're going to put a new depot in here. We're going to build another truck stop in here for the drop-off point, so that the trucks bringing the stone in here are not going to be the same trucks, or not going to be using the same depot as the trucks taking the bricks into Salem. So it'll be a little bit quicker, a little bit less traffic on the road, and hopefully things will get held back a little bit less. So let's just smooth some of this out. And you know what? I want rid of you. I want rid of you. And I want rid of you as well. Because what I'm thinking we do here is we can bring a little street across like this. It's not the prettiest connection by any means. I almost wonder if it would be a better idea to sort of rebuild this entire little corner. A little bit excessive perhaps, but just to give something a little bit nicer looking, we'll do this. Connect it around like that. That's totally okay. We'll take out this guy because it's probably unnecessary, and we'll run this sort of straight down. So that gives us something a little bit neater, a little bit more pleasant to look at. And then I think what we do is we just lock that road. I think that's going to be important. So we'll get this road nicely locked so that nothing's going to build to it without my permission, without me doing it. And that should give us, like I said, just that bit more control and just a few less intersections on that road as well. And then I figure we can probably clear this space, and I'm probably going to use this for my truck station. Now, I don't know what way I want to do this. I think we'll do platforms on the left. Something like this. We can swing it around. We can try and get it sort of nicely parallel with the road on the left there. Although that road, where does it go? It does sort of go out to the countryside. Do I want to upgrade that road before we do this? It might not be a bad idea. At the very least, we'll upgrade it like this, and then we'll build the depot, and then we'll downgrade it so that if I ever do want to upgrade this road, I can do that without, you know, having to move the depot, which I think is going to be kind of important. So we'll do this. I think we can just keep that road as it is, to be completely honest. And maybe we lock that as well. So we'll keep that road as it is. We're not going to need too many truck stops in here, I don't think, but I do want to expand this a little bit just so that the trucks can come in and do their thing and, you know, everything's going to be okay. I'm also kind of wondering if I was to do a station entrance on this side and a station exit on this side, would that be an idea? Because the trucks, as it stands, will come in. Oh, I probably should have put them on the right, huh? If I put the stops on the right, the trucks would come in here, sort of go around, and then they could exit on that side and come back to the highway. Although if I put the exit on this side, they're not going to be cutting across themselves. Ooh. We have some things to work out here. I think we're going to try an entrance on that side. We're going to try an exit. Apparently not on this side, which is great. Oh no! That was not the button I wanted. All right, so this was so much more of a pain than it had any right to be. Also, new train, kind of excited about that, not gonna lie. This was a complete pain. It doesn't look like it was gonna be a pain, but I had to just flatten the terrain, rebuild the roads. It was just tedious, basically. It wasn't a pain, it was just tedious, is all it was. Salem line 1 coming down that way. I did notice there is a line coming in here that seems to want to loop around a little bit, which is interesting to say the least. I want to say it's probably the bricks production line. It's probably this guy, yeah. So this truck is coming in, it's looping around in all sorts of weird ways. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to manage this line, and we are going to say you're no longer going to waypoint 4. You're no longer going to waypoint 3. You are now going to be going from Salem South to right about here, which is now doing what I want it to do. And you are going to be set to drop off all of this stone, which is perfect. You can also use all of the available platforms. You don't go to Salem East anymore. You just go back. And that is exactly what we want. So that is going to take a lot of vehicles. It's going to take 29 trucks and send them all to this specific depot, which means this one is exclusively for the trucks that are going to be picking up the bricks, taking them into the city, and that's great. Except I also kind of want to move this depot around a little bit because it's not in a great place. It is on a main road. I think reasonably we could put it up on this road, and if I really wanted to, we could probably set it up similarly so that the trucks are coming in one side, going out the other, and I just think that's going to be good for us. And here's the thing, with this change in place, the rate on this line has gone to 1413, which is great because we can pin this, we can go to manage vehicles, and I can say sell 2 of them, and we'll see what that comes down to. 1315, we can go and sell 2 more. bringing that down to 1218, which is 18 above the maximum amount of stone that can be produced every year. So long story short, with the bigger trucks and with the more efficient lines, we can have fewer vehicles coming into Salem at a time, which is going to be good for the people. It's going to be good for the traffic. And that's basically what I want. So the next step in this process is going to be dealing with this guy and figuring out what way I want these trucks to go. Because if I have a look at my drop-off locations, it is all of these guys down here. All of these guys want bricks, and we do have a line that's covering that. We have the bricks delivery line. You can sort of see it goes around that space really, really nicely. So, and it also goes in here in a weird roundabout way, which is great. What I'm thinking we could do, because this is a waypoint up here, the first actual stop for this line is down here on Jefferson Street. So I almost wonder, and then the last stop is here at Upper Salem. So we could reasonably use, we could maybe use this avenue here or this one here from east to west. We could maybe use that as sort of a way in and out. If we had the trucks coming over here going like this, if we had the entrance on the lower side, have the trucks come out at the top, they could maybe go right up and around the top of Salem there. That might be the way to do it, but I do think this thing needs to move in general. So here's what we're gonna have to do. There's a lot of bricks in here, 468. I'm just gonna bulldoze this, which is a lot. It's a lot to bulldoze, but we're gonna bulldoze it. I was thinking I'd try and take the trucks off of this road completely, and I might still try to do that. I think reasonably what I could do here is tidy up this entire avenue for a second, because it is a little bit nasty looking right now. So if we bring that over like that, if I don't want to get rid of this stop, but I think I'm gonna have to. That is a bus and tram stop. That's fine. We can tidy this up a little bit. We can make this work. So what I'm thinking is we get our large street. We want to have our electric tram tracks. I think we have electric tram tracks. We do. So we'll do something like this. Just bring it straight over, and that is not bad. It's definitely not bad. I was thinking we'd maybe do sort of a right angle on this road though. So let's take a look at what that would look like. It'd be like this, which I don't know if I love that. That's kind of what we had before. I was thinking we'd maybe do a right angle on this guy back here. So maybe what we do is get our right angle at this intersection. And as much as I hate these little hills in here, I think I'm going to allow it, because if we look at it from above, it looks fine. The only thing we need to do at this point is add some bus and tram stops to this absolute mess right here, and just double check that everything's flowing the way I'd want it to, which I think it is. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll just trust that it is for now. And then when it comes to everything up here, I mean, reasonably, we need a truck station. We probably want the platforms on the right this time, so they're going to be sort of here-ish, which I think is okay. Maybe what we do is use this little road down here as a way to get in here. I've just given this thing I don't need trams coming in there. Let's get rid of those. So this thing can live, I'm gonna say right about here is what I'm thinking. And then I think we go in, we configure this, we extend it a little bit. I'm hoping I don't need to extend it too much, but we'll extend it up to about here. This might work, it might not. We do a station exit there, which is totally fine. And we do a station entrance down here, which I'm hoping I can get away with if I bring a little street across like this. Now, that's roughly as straight as I'm gonna get it, which I'm kind of okay with. So we'll do this, we'll configure you, we'll get our station entrance, and it doesn't want to work. Of course it doesn't. And you know, if I'm looking at this properly, I've got this line now doing everything I'd want it to do. It picks things up here, it heads right across the top of Salem, down onto Jefferson Street, and it loops around and makes all of its deliveries before heading across this main avenue, up this avenue, and in to pick up more cargo. So we'll run the simulation, we'll see how this goes. And the hope here is that that's going to take a lot of the stress off of these inner roads. Obviously, this one's still going to be quite busy, but hopefully this is going to work out and do exactly what I want it to do. I'm not expecting miracles here. I am thinking this will probably still back up a little bit and be a little bit busy, but this does seem like a better layout for things. It seems like this is maybe a little bit more poised for success, perhaps. I think that's how I'm going to describe this this space, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if it works out. We'll see if it's any good. At the very least, it is going to take traffic off of these this main road here and off of this section of road as well, which is exactly what I'm wanting to do. So that is the bricks delivery stuff rebuilt. When it comes to the tools, it's a little bit more complicated because as it stands, we have demand for 518 tools in here, which is a lot. This guy is producing 432. And I have to wonder, I mean, if we look at consumers right now, we're transporting, I assume, as much as we're able to produce for Salem. Yeah, transport's 100%. I have to wonder then if shipment is maybe the problem. And if shipment's the problem, then that means that the steel is the problem, which means this guy is the problem. I think. I think. Consumers right now, 200 for Salem Tools Factory. Am I missing anything with this? So suppliers, Oklahoma is producing 200. Production is climbing a little bit, which is good. So production's getting a little bit better here. If shipment could go up a little bit, which it dropped, that'd be great as well. It would be nice to move a little bit more here. I'm not gonna lie. So I have to wonder if that means that maybe just more regular trains in here. I mean, you're producing 400. So if you're producing, I can't remember. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm an idiot. I know exactly what it's the slag. We haven't done anything with the slag yet. Oh, and we were going to, oh my God, that's a dangerously close coal mine. We were going to, weren't we? We were going to do bricks production with it. There was like a thing down here that closed at one point. That's a shame. Okay. So basically, I need to find somewhere that wants to consume it. And up here, honestly, is maybe the one. Oklahoma City right now is not getting any bricks. So you know what? We're going to use this guy is what we're going to do. I know this is a bit of a tangent away from Salem, but to be fair, in a roundabout way, this is going to benefit Salem as well. Although I will say, I don't know if adding another connection to this road is a good idea without first upgrading the road itself. That might be necessary. Might also be a good idea to sort of smooth this out a little bit, so it's a bit more of a gradual decline down to this road, and then we'll see what we can do. In fact, we're just going to punch straight through here for a second. We'll bulldoze this part, take this right back a little bit. Oh, I didn't want to do that. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to bring this through and then bulldoze this part so that I have this little connection right here. And then that gives us something a little bit more gradual, smooth it out, looks a little bit better. And then this guy can probably just connect up to this. It can connect into Oklahoma City itself. This is going to be really good. This is going to be so good for Oklahoma. I've been meaning to get some stuff in here for a while. And like I said, this does have the knock-on effect of hopefully leveling up that one steel mill. And that is going to be huge, potentially, for tools production in Salem. So this is, like I said, it's a roundabout way of doing things, but I'm going to trust in the process is what I'm going to do. Now, what's pretty cool about this is I did, as I mentioned earlier, I built some new roads recently between this episode and the last one, and it connects down to here really nicely. So I'm kind of thinking that I use this roundabout and we maybe come in here with something a little bit like this. That's more or less straight across, which is completely fine. So we'll bulldoze you. That's right about there. I think this basically connects to this guy. So we'll bring this all the way down here. And I could just make that a big curve. I think, honestly, I might as well just make that a big curve. And that seems pretty good. We'll smooth this out a little bit so it's a bit more pleasant to look at. A little bit less of a scar on the land, which is kind of what we're going for. And that looks all right. So basically it'll be a shot from here up around here and then over to Oklahoma, as opposed to sort of going down to this road. And well, actually, in saying that, we're probably gonna have to hit that road one way or other. So what might actually be an idea, this would be a really good time for a highway, actually, wouldn't it? I'm not going to do a highway. I'm just saying it would be a really good time for one. That wasn't supposed to be like a tease or something like, ooh, maybe we'll do this. It would be a great time for a highway. I don't think I've got it in me right now. I still haven't done any research into how highways in this game are supposed to work, or if they even do, really. I don't know how deep the traffic simulation is in Transport Fever 2, so I don't want to commit to building a highway until I know that I can actually do it, you know? That's kind of where I'm at. So we're gonna play it safe until I know what I'm doing in that regard. But I think we can do something like this, and we can do something like this, and that'll be a really good straight shot over to this factory. It gives us a really good connection into the city itself. I think this road can honestly go away since it's not really being used. This one can come straight down, since I think that's a pretty good spot for a connection. And that gives us some nice room for Oklahoma City to expand. I like that a lot. Now, in terms of places that want bricks in here, annoyingly, it's all the way up here. I don't know how I feel about that. There's a lot of traffic on that road, actually. This road here probably needs upgraded. So let's look into that, because it is a very busy road. We'll not go straight to 6 lanes. We'll go straight to 4 and see how that plays out. This road is annoyingly not very busy, which is really unfortunate. I think this road can go away, to be completely honest with you. I think this road can go away. This road can go away. And that gives us a little, you know, fewer intersections is what we're going for. Now, when it comes to the drop-off points for the bricks, I'm going to say we want to go right about here for 1. And then this, I think this avenue for 2, maybe right about there, right in the middle of the avenue for a second one. And that, I think, covers just about everything for the bricks, which is great. And then all we need to do is have a drop-off down here, and then a place. It is just slag, right? Yeah, I just wanted to double check I wasn't getting carried away. We need a drop off for the slag. We need a pickup for the bricks. And I think we can get away with just doing 1 truck stop for both of them. I don't think we need to get too carried away with this one. I think we'll do a nice long truck stop and a nice wide truck stop, but I think we can just do the 1. Maybe. Do I want to get a little creative here? I don't think we need to. I think I'm just going to do this. We'll flatten out that terrain. We'll smooth the area around it. We can extend this just a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. And then what we can do here is have a line that goes from Oklahoma City South all the way up to this guy. And I don't know what pathing it's going to go for right now. It is not going the way I'd want it to. It's going the shortest route, which makes sense. I am going to send it the slightly more ridiculous route just to avoid all the traffic down here, but that's fine. So that's going to be road cargo, Oklahoma, and it is going to be slag to bricks, and that's totally fine. Oklahoma has that lovely green color right about there, which is perfect. And I guess what we're going to have to do is redefine who goes where. So platforms 1 through, you know what, platforms, I'm going to say 11 through 18. So you go to platform 11, and then everything from 11 to 18 is going to be for this slag line, which means everything from 1 to 10 is going to be for the steel one. So that's totally fine. Let's manage this line, everything from 1 all the way up to and including 10. So we take out all of these guys, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that ends up being a good idea or a bad idea. But that is just step 1. Step 2 is going to be, that's going to be waypoints, really. So we'll get ourselves a waypoint right here and a waypoint right there. We want to go back to the slag to bricks line. We want to manage that. And so after Oklahoma City South, I need you to go to this waypoint right here. And you're now cutting across there. You're cutting down here. I think you are cutting straight across, which is great. So if I then tell you to come back this way, are you going to do what I want you to do? Or are you going to cut right through the middle? No, it is doing It is doing exactly what I wanted. That is perfect. So it's a long way to go, but it is avoiding so much traffic, except for maybe this road, which, I mean, putting traffic on this road is not a great idea, but it is supposed to be a ring road. So that's fine. And that's step one. Step two is going to be the bricks going into Oklahoma itself. And that is going to be very, very simple. So that's from there to here and to there. And in terms of how I want that to flow for traffic, I am almost tempted to say that we could send it out on this ring road and bring it in that way, so that it avoids all this. It does have to cut across a relatively busy space, but I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go in, we're going to put a waypoint right here. I'm going to go back to this line, wherever it was, line 1. And so after Oklahoma City West, I need you to go around to this waypoint, and then you have to very suddenly cut across, which I don't love. I don't love that. I do not love that. That's gonna be, that's that's quite annoying. How do I want to do this? Because I don't want that really sudden cut in traffic. That's a bad thing. Maybe we'll just, you know what? We'll just see what happens. We'll get, no, I don't want to add another stop. I want to bulldoze you, and we'll just see how that goes. And I think that's fine. So we'll copy this name. We'll go to you. We'll go to you and rename it. And this is going to be bricks delivery, which is totally fine. We'll get it that lovely green color, and that seems all right. I'm pleased with that. We'll manage the line, and here we're going to say platform 1, platform 2, and platform 3. I'm tempted to say full load with a maximum wait of 2 minutes, so we don't get too carried away with this. And then for the other guy, for the slag to bricks line, manage it. We're going to say platforms 4, 5, and 6 for that one. And that should be pretty good. We could maybe say full load here as well. Maximum stop 3 minutes. It shouldn't be too difficult to do that. And that'll be great. So that'll be 2 really solid lines for Oklahoma. They currently have demand for 195 on their bricks. So if we just pin this guy as we're getting some vehicles, we can head down this way. We can go to our road depot, and we're going to be looking at getting ourselves some of these guys. So we'll start with 5, and 5 might be too many, but we'll start with 5. This is bricks delivery. So we'll do a nice dark red, and we'll have a look at road cargo. We're going all the way down to Oklahoma, and it is bricks delivery. It gives us a rate of 219, which is higher than the city wants, but that's okay. And then if we have a, oh boy, this is where the math comes in. So 195 is the demand, which means, so man, so basically we need 100 slag is roughly what we're going to be looking for here. So if I look at the slag to bricks line, we pin this guy, and we go down here, we get ourselves more vehicles. We'll buy, I'm going to say 10 to start with. Might not be enough, but we'll get 10. We'll paint them, I don't know what color to go for a slag line. Brown-ish, coppery, browny. I have no idea. I really, maybe that color. I don't know. I don't know if that's what we're gonna, that looks fine. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll go and get all of you guys on the slag to bricks line. That gives me a rate of 142. So that is also higher than it needs to be. So we will have a surplus of vehicles or a surplus of bricks at some point. But if we now come down here, this guy's shipment is increasing, which means this guy can level up, which means that, again, the whole point was to get Salem into a better spot, right? So, long story short, this is going to have knock-on effects to make the tools production over here a little bit better, right? It was all a part of the plan. Now, something I probably should look into is this Salem machines delivery business, because we still have this train going back and forth. And if you don't remember, this is the train that goes all the way down here, down to the ridiculous this, basically. We are making steel down this way. So we're taking, I don't know, iron and coal from up this way, bringing it all the way down, turning it into steel, turning some of that into tools. it is helpful for San Francisco, which is great. It is making a decent amount of steel, which is great. And a lot of that does get to the train. The silver gets picked up and turned into silver bars up here, and that's great. I kind of want to retire this line because it's never been particularly efficient. And when it comes down to it, we have a lot of machines waiting to go into Salem from this, the Miami line. So I think we're going to retire this whole production line, basically. So High Point Machines production, managed vehicles. Wait, that's my first train. Oh, I'm going to send you back to the depot. We're going to keep you. we don't need to keep it, but we're going to keep it is what we're going to do. Going to get rid of you. Salem Machines Delivery 1. There's only those are, how old are you? How old is this truck? 36 years old. Oh man. Okay. This line has definitely been neglected. We're going to sell both of these trucks. We are going to manage that line. We are going to get rid of that line. And then Machines Delivery 2 is just going to become Machines Delivery. And that's totally fine. Admittedly, I am relatively confident in saying that we might have a little bit of work to do here, but I'm going to get rid of this. It's a lot of old infrastructure that we just don't need anymore. We do still have the old train, which I do want to keep. I want to repurpose that. I know I could just rename. I could just rename things, but I don't have it in me. I don't want to. I also spent so long getting all this like double stacked stuff with all these roads and stuff. Oh man. Oh, we did so much with this. Do I even need this connection anymore? I don't know. I think that's just a connection to a... Yeah, that's just a connection to a depot now, isn't it? Oh man. Yeah, there's probably a lot in here that we can retire, but for the time being, I'm just gonna keep the train in the depot. This is all... I mean, we can get rid of this as well. We now have these guys dropping stuff off at the train, right? Yeah, steel to train. Those are old trucks as well. Let's get those sold. Oh, that's so bad. So steel to train can go away. We don't need that anymore. We do have some stuff going on down here. So coal, steel tools, iron, steel tools. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll keep up that production. I'm not really looking to do too much here, but I did want to clear that out just to get, you know, some space up here. This is no longer being used, which I'm okay with. And then I guess what I want to look at is Salem Machines Delivery, because if we look at this line, it is just going into the middle of Salem right now. It's not really going anywhere major. I will swap out these trucks for the Peterbilt 359. I think that's a good idea. Brings us up to 123 on the rate, which, I mean, demand is 166 right now, so might not be a bad idea to try and match that demand. We'll throw 2 more vehicles on here and see what that does. So 123, 153. You know what? Give me 2 more. That gives me 184. That should be fine. Where is the demand for machines right now? It is sort of in the middle of everything. There's a little bit down here. There's a little bit up there. So if I had to stop right in here, that does cover just about all of it. I think reasonably what we can do. So nothing's waiting here, which is good. We don't want this stop to be used. This is also not being used. And there were a handful of others that weren't being used as well. Everything left in here, all of these stops are, all these stations or whatever you want to call them, they are being used. So if we have a look, that should mean that at least one of these is being used for machines delivery, right? I don't know which one, but definitely one of them is getting used for it. There we go. Machines delivery is going to this main street. So that's not the best place for it. I almost want to, I think we should bring it down this road. So bring it in, we could bring it down here, bring it across, have it share this, this fuel delivery spot if we really wanted to. That's also an old line, which is probably going to need to upgrade it at some point. But I think we have it share this stop, or we could take out some of these buildings and put some kind of little truck stop in here, which wouldn't be the worst idea, but this is also the city center, so I want to try and avoid doing that too much. I guess let's do machines delivery. I mean, here just about covers everywhere that wants it. I think here is a good spot. Then the trucks can loop back out onto this road and head back out to High Point. That seems like a good way to go. So they're not U-turning on this main road. So let's do this. Let's go to this stop right here. Machines delivery, manage line. Instead of Highland Street, I want you to go here. We're going to get rid of Highland Street. And if I look at this line, it is now just doing what I want it to do. But I do think I want to bring it down a little sooner. So even before Mill Street, we want to go in, we want to add this waypoint, and then I want to move that. Can you not move things? Can I not? Really? Is it not an option to move this? Can you not do that? I thought that was a thing. I might be misremembering. I guess regardless, we'll do, so after Upper High Point, you go to here. So it comes down, it takes this turn, it hits that stop, it goes back out. That's pretty much all I could ask for, which means this stop is now not being used for anything, so we can get rid of you as well. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that improves things. I am thinking that this is probably going to need to be a bit more of a dense road as well. So we'll upgrade you a little bit to have a few more lanes. This can go away, and this entire thing can be upgraded too. We'll even go so far as to lock those little segments so that things aren't building on it. And I would even go so far as saying we don't need this, since we have some intersections close together. And you know what? I'm getting rid of all this too. I don't want any of it. I want that to be nice and clear for traffic to go through. I want this locked. I kind of want this to be locked as well. This little block here is probably going to be a mess to deal with. This is all way too close to this major intersection though. Even if I take out this one strip of road, I think that'll be better. So I think that's exactly what we'll do. Take out this guy, so it's more of it's a three-way rather than a four-way. So that's fine. I guess we just let things run. We'll see how it goes and hope for the best. I will change out these trucks though. They're delivering machines, so let's do, I mean, is that going to be a super light blue, or what are we looking at here? Can I select all the vehicles and get them that color? There we go. So how does that look? That looks very bright. So I guess while we're waiting for all that to kick off, I want to have a look at this construction materials plant and just see how things are going. So we are shipping 450 bricks into Salem right now. That's 60% of the transport. We are producing 668. So if I look at you and manage the line, 322 is the current rate. So if I go and manage these vehicles, I don't necessarily want to put more vehicles in the line, but we'll do 5 more to bring this up to 402. And that brings our shipment up to 451. Hopefully that'll increase. It might be a traffic thing that's holding it back, but we'll see how it goes. We also have a bunch of trucks coming down here for the tools delivery line, which I think is another source of traffic. But speaking of the tools, how are things down here? This guy has leveled up, which is very exciting. So that should mean that Salem Tools Factory is going to start getting even more steel, which is fantastic news. That'll be more tools for Salem, which was the whole point. And we should start to see some of our first deliveries over here. We're not seeing it. We have the trucks waiting though, which is really cool. That's a really good shade of red. This, looking at these is making me want to play American Truck Simulator again. And I don't know if I've got it in me, because here's the thing, man. Let me tell you something. The next few episodes, I don't want to say it's going to be pre-recorded, because I know we just got done with a massive batch of pre-recorded Transport Fever 2. But there is a game coming up in the channel. There's actually a couple of games coming up in the channel I'm not allowed to talk about right now, but I've just recently got keys to check them out, and there's press embargoes on them. I'm not allowed to tell you what they are. I'm not trying to be cute about it, but it's a few games coming up that I'm super excited about. Some of them I've been waiting for a very, very long time to play. One of them I've been waiting for a very, very long time to play again. So there's a teaser for you. See if you can figure that one out. Yeah, I want to make sure this series continues. I don't want to drop it, but I also want to check out those other games. So I'm going to try and get a lot of this done before I go and sort of no-life those for a couple of days. Oh, it's good. I'm actually excited. Like, the last year for gaming, I feel, has been incredible. You've had like Baldur's Gate, Like Baldur's Gate was, I need to play more Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't touch it on YouTube. I did nothing with it here on YouTube, and I'm probably never going to. And it's completely irrelevant to Transport Fever 2. But let me tell you, if you have not played Baldur's Gate 3, take it from someone that never played 1 or 2 and doesn't typically play games like that. It is as good, if not better, than people say it is. It's so good. We do have goods delivery to Salem going on here. I forgot we had that very long line. What is the demand for goods in here? 90. What is the current rate on that line? 41. Okay, well, swap out those for these guys. Brings us up to 85. We'll go with that. We'll see if it works. And you know what? Let me manage those vehicles. It's goods delivery. Let's do, you know what? Do a nice light blue. We'll go for something like a nice light blue on those, just to change it up a little bit. Now, do we have any slag on the way here? Oh, hello. Have you got anything? You do. All right, so bricks for Oklahoma are going to be a thing. We've got all these trucks coming down here. We've got a lot of stuff being picked up, which is great. These guys are going to hang around. We've got another giant delivery coming in, which is needed because it looks like we were running on empty here. So you know what? I do think the last thing I want to do today is I want to come in here and I want to change this up. I think we're going to have to get rid of the mega train, which is unfortunate, but I think we're going to have to do it. So you manage vehicle, we're going to sell you. Oh man. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to sell it, and that's fine. It's okay. We need something that fits on the platform and that is actually a reasonable sort of length here. So, we'll be fine. Let's just do this entire, this upgrade's going to take a minute to do, but it's got to be worth it, I think. I think more regular deliveries here are absolutely going to be worth it. And there we go. We have the track doubled up. We have the line already in place. We have the signals in here. All I need to do at this point is get enough trains to match the demand of both of these things. So I think what I'm going to try and do is get us something pretty good. Now we do have this guy, which is a new diesel train. It's not quite as good as some of the old electric locomotives that we have in here. It's definitely, I mean, we could do better. We have, it's only doing 65 miles per hour as well. This one can do 117. That's very tempting, but I think maybe we just go for one of these. It is the most sort of powerful that we have, although the tractive effort with 516 kilonewtons might be better. I don't know if power or tractive effort is better. I'm gonna have to Google that. I should know that, but we'll check that out. I'll check it out between episodes and see which is better. Just for now, to repeat what I did before, I'll just go with one of these guys. And for cargo, it's going to be gondolas. And I think what we'll do is go for something that's kind of easy to divide. So that's 6, 8, 10, 12. We could just do 12 of them. So it's half and half. It's 6 gondolas of coal, 6 of iron. We'll go for 252 as the capacity per train. And that'll be all right. We're going to set these guys to a sort of, I don't want to do the gray color. I might do sort of that silvery color though. I kind of like that. I think that's fine. And then we'll put you on. So this is the Oklahoma Steel line. So if we go and look at that line, the rate is 139. Oh, I'm going to need like 9 of these trains. I am going to need 9 of them. Oh man, that's gonna be rough. Let me pin that for a second and let me go and have a little look down here and see what we're dealing with right now. So production is 602 out of 800, which means we're shipping, I don't know what we're shipping right now. Oh man. Okay, you know what? Duplicate this, duplicate it again. That gives us 558. Do I want to do 8 of these? I don't know if I do. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to spend, but you know what? Let's do 6 of them for now. And that'll be fine. So 837. We'll see how that goes. It is a pretty big change. It's not, you know, the mega train is gone and it was cool, but I think these guys are better. Also, they are, how are we looking for, it's still got a mediocre power rating though. So top speed for slopes, flat 75 miles per hour in 3 minutes, medium, ooh. I might want to make these trains better. I think we need to make them, what if, okay, let me try a little something here. Let me modify you. So your power rating's good, apparently. Interesting. Okay, so that's surprising because it was telling me it wasn't. All right, well, there's that, I guess. If I add you in there, the power rating's like really good. Okay, maybe we'll be all right. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. I mean, this guy hopefully gets up to a good speed. We have got some slopes along this line as well, which isn't doing us any favors, but we'll see how everything goes. Oh no, this is great news. Even with the delays at the other end of things, Salem Tools Factory is now leveling up, which should mean more tools for Salem itself. And I'm also looking at this and thinking, this is a mess right now. This whole thing is a mess. The Oklahoma line that's Oklahoma Steel Tools. That's fine. That line does what I want it to do. Oklahoma Tools Delivery is this whole thing. I almost wonder if we should put an entrance on this side of the depot. It is definitely a mess right there, but we'll see what happens. As for Salem itself, the number of bricks is still not quite where I'd like it to be. Number tools still isn't quite where I'd like it to be, but we should see those things pick up a little bit, I would imagine. We have a lot of bricks sort of sitting around here. If we go and look at the machines, it does look like we're moving those into Salem as well. So I want to say that phase 1 of my effort to sort of rebuild the connections in Salem has been successful, I think. Okay, so I messed around with the roads a little bit and I've caused all sorts of problems in here. We have so many trucks coming and going to this little depot that I think we're gonna have to build separate depots for different things in here. We're not gonna do that today. We'll do that in the next episode because it's this, again, I've talked about it before. We're trying to keep these things a little shorter, a little snappier. I'm not doing a very good friggin' job of it, but we're getting somewhere with it. The good news is this has leveled up and will hopefully continue to do so. We're starting to see more tools get produced, which is going to be good for all of our cities. We are seeing bricks getting produced up here, which is absolutely fantastic. So hopefully this will level up at some point as well. And if we have a bit of a look at the bricks delivery line, it's doing 159 right now. It could be doing better, but it will certainly get there, I'm sure. I think part of the problem was some of these guys were stuck in traffic because it's not great around here and it's not great up here, but we should have, and we do have, bricks coming into Oklahoma City, which as a result is going to start to grow a little bit more, which is lovely to see. So we've managed to improve Oklahoma. We have managed, I think, to sort of improve Salem. It could be doing better. There's still a lot of traffic problems in some parts of the city, but we have more bricks, we have more tools, we have more machines. It is aiming to go up to 3,429 people, which I think is great. And then looking all the way down here, steel and slag production is going really well. This has dropped, mind you. This isn't good. This is heading towards a downgrade. Is kind of what's going on there. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not gonna lie, but well, we could probably improve it. I said probably. We could definitely improve it. These guys, and we're shipping 100% here. We're shipping 61% of the coal. So this thing is, I don't know, the layout here leaves a little bit to be desired, but I would imagine once these trains start figuring themselves out, things will be a little bit better. We do have one coming down here that's just full of iron. That's probably a new one, to be fair. Yeah, this one's 50-50, which is great. This is actually just running really slowly. That's something I've kind of noticed. This Thousand Oaks steel mill is taking up a lot more than I would like, which is frustrating. I don't know what this is supplying, to be quite honest with you. I'm guessing, I mean, it's steel to machines. Yeah, so that's okay. Well, that checks. That's a lot of machines. That's a lot of machines up there. Where are they all going? Where are they all going? McAllen? Really? Okay, how many machines does McAllen want these days? This place, oh, it's the primary thing that it wants. No wonder. Okay. Yeah, this place is miserable with that train line running straight through the middle of it. That's really didn't do them any favors there, did I? You know, I think what's actually gone on here, and I think part of the problem that we're seeing is basically we've got some trains that have come in like this with nothing but iron ore on board. And the reason that's happened is that the trains that come out of the depot went and picked up a bunch of iron. So basically the demand for iron down here is non-existent. So yeah, we might need to rebalance things a little bit here. I think what we can maybe do is for now, we'll go to manage line and we'll say at Wichita Falls, you are kind of just gonna wait for a maximum of like 2 minutes and then go about even just a minute. Wait for like a minute and then go about your business. So that way, if the stuff's there to load up on, you'll load up on it. If it isn't, you'll just keep going. It does mean that some of these trains might run, well, they might not be full like this one, but it does mean they will run a little bit more regularly, which should slowly start to balance out the demand for coal. Because all of these trains, as they're heading out, they've got no problem filling up with coal. It's just the iron that's the problem. Now, hold on a second. What is this? How have we got tools down here? What's going, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. So there's tools down here. I was just about to wrap things up. There's tools here on the Oklahoma slag to bricks line. So what that means is that a truck left here with steel. It took that steel to be turned into tools. It picked up some tools and brought them back. Those tools are then going to be loaded onto another truck instead of slag that will then be brought over here to be dropped off and picked up by another truck instead of bricks and delivered to Oklahoma City. Okay. All right. It's not, you know, I appreciate the ambition and the sentiment that they have there, but no, we are not going to be doing that. That's not happening. This guy is producing 237 right now. It can produce up to 238, 237. Yeah, so let's go to bricks delivery 219. Let me put 2 more trucks on that line just to future-proof it a little bit. And that is going to be that for today, because I'm about to start rambling and getting carried away again. So that is 100% going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do think we've made a really nice dent in Salem here. I do want to look at improving the food situation, the fuel situation, and the goods situation. So I might look at doing that in the next episode. And then after that, what I'm actually thinking I want to do is, well, it's going to be because of this airport. There's 319 people that want to go to Kansas. So why don't we take a step to the left and focus on Kansas City for a little bit? Kind of do to Kansas what we're trying to do to Salem right now. Figure out the food production, the fuel production, the tools, the goods, the construction materials, and the machines. Now, the food situation's okay. The fuel situation is going to be tricky, but I want to figure out a way to do it. We have a farm right here, which is great. It's producing a lot of grain, which could potentially be used for fuel. I am sure we will find some way right here. For example, if we can get some oil, we can make some fuel over here by Palmdale. So, I mean, realistically, we have some crude oil down here, which is something. We've got a chemical plant right here. I don't know if there's going to be anything along the way. Yeah, we got, you know what? We can do a big old train is what we can do. We can do a big old train, and it's going to be we'll take this oil from Tampa and from Naperville over to this refinery, bring it all the way up the side of the map, which I think will look really cool. And we can turn it into fuel. We can load it back on the train, bring it over and around and into Kansas City past New York. It's going to be a huge train line, but you know what? I am actually kind of excited about that idea. So maybe that's what we'll do in the next episode. I don't know. It's going to be one or the other. Either we're going to do more Salem or we're going to do the Kansas thing, but we'll figure that out. You're going to have to wait like a day, maybe 2. I don't know when the next episode's coming out. I'm going to have to decide the next 5 minutes what I'm doing. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.